See, the Most High give us this dynamic gift, this gift that's so amazing. I mean, this gift that the whole world wants to buy, but he makes us work for them. He makes us grind. He makes us feel the pain of the process. And for me, I would say I'd rather have it no other way. It's time for you to be great. It's time for you to be phenomenal. See, many of us like to skip the hard part. We like to skip the stages that make us the great people that we are born to be. And you must realize that you cannot buy this. No one can give you this. You must earn this. I played the game as if my life was on the line. And individuals all over the world to understand this very thing. Greatness lies in the man that believes it's in them.
Happy Friday, beautiful people. Happy Friday. It is December the 8th, 2023. I look at my day count. Day 127 of year 5, reading through books, laws, and prophets, and of the 5-year consecutive day count, it is a 1,506. Today, we're going to read a little bit more in chapter 47 in the Holy Megillah. We're still in the section entitled The Holy God Spell, and we're going to pick up on verse 203 on page 619. And it's starting with a story that Sheba is telling. And once we get done here, we're going to read chapter 5 in the book of God's Word, starting on page 156. All right, beautiful people. Let's see. Father, we thank you for the wisdom that you impart to us on a daily basis. Y'all doing the closing adoration, so be thinking about it now. Let's see who all here. Joyful Cosmar, what's going on, fam? Peace, love, light, and balance, creator gang. Tabitha, hey, girl, hey. Shalom, Sister Pammy. Many blessings on you. Thank you, girl. Thank you, girl. Cousin, hey, Tiffany. Happy Friday, beautiful souls. Yes and amen. Jamia, hey, girl, hey. Peace, love, and light, sisterin'. And the couple people here hanging out in the background, you know what? It might just be y'all. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get started. Chapter 47, page 619, verse 203. Sheba tells the story of Pistis Sophia. Pistis, Pistis. That's what it says. Pistis Sophia. I bring a bit of ancient Nazarene lore and ask Migdana to record it for inclusion in the next edition of the Holy Megillah, Nazarene Bible of the Essene Way. In the early years of the mother ovum, before the Lord and Lady had manifested multiple bodies, for there had yet been no need, the Lord Christ Jade went on a mission and asked the Lady Christ Jana to wait for him. Jade did not desire to be away from his beloved Jana, but his mission was to a realm that had fallen into darkness, and he wished to spare Jana the rotten stench of such a realm. While Jade was away, a messenger, first Spark, came to Jana with news of the foul activities of Beelzebub in another sector of the mother ovum. First Spark reported that many were suffering beneath the dark despotism of Beelzebub, who masqueraded as God in the galaxy he once served as Chief Abram. Wow. That story was as follows. Hold on, let me highlight this. This is kind of sounding like the Bible in Genesis. Hold on. Let me read that again. Okay, let me go back. Verse 206. While Jade was away, a messenger whose name was First Spark While Jade was away, a messenger, first Spark, came to Jannah with news of the foul activities of Beelzebub in another sector of the Mother Ovum. First Spark reported that many were suffering beneath the dark despotism of Beelzebub, who masqueraded as God in the galaxy he once served as Chief Abram. That story was as follows. In the days before his fall, Beelzebub was a cherubim overseer of a galaxy. It is the duty of Abram and Sarah of the highest heaven of a galaxy to help the souls of their galaxy graduate to the next highest galaxy. But Beelzebub, having been held as God on a visit to a first heaven of a star in his galaxy, decided that he liked being God. And he desired not to graduate the souls of his dominion, but to keep them in his realm and be their God. He then hatched a plan and began to implement it. Yea, for long ages he implemented the stages of his plan. And when the time was right and he had many compatriots in his fall, he informed all who were in his way that they had graduated this galaxy and would be sent to the next highest galaxy. But lo, it was a trap. This was the first Luciferian rebellion. Hold on, let me highlight. This was the first Luciferian rebellion, which is when cherubim rebel against Elohim and Jah. These rebellions have been few. These rebellions have been few, and this was the first. For although no Alaphim cherubim from Medheba had ever fallen, some other races of cherubim have fallen, though very few considering the fathomless time that has unfolded. This is the story of the part that Jade and Jannah played in the redemption of the galaxy that had fallen to Beelzebub. Having heard the report of First Spark about the evil doings in Beelzebub's galaxy, Jannah felt that she could not wait for the return of Jade. For behold, First Spark had described entire planets having been devoured for their natural resources and then discarded as poisonous desert wastelands. He described such horrors that Jannah, the queen of compassion, felt she must depart immediately to help in that galaxy. She told First Spark, go to the other fallen realm where Jade has gone in another sector of the Mother Ovum. Inform him of my destination and ask him to follow when he can. First Spark departed on his mission to Jade, and Jannah departed on her mission to the fallen galaxy of Beelzebub. When First Spark had first witnessed the atrocities of Beelzebub, he tried to confront Beelzebub in person, but found it impossible. For Beelzebub resided in a tower that was surrounded by many technological barriers on a favored home planet, as well as natural barriers that prevented Beelzebub from being able to perceive or communicate with First Spark. Beelzebub had introduced enslaved light and artificial brains in many worlds in his galaxy. Interesting. By making beings believe that they were not naturally immortal, Beelzebub was able to trap souls within his galaxy. Let me read that again. Mom, shalom, shalom. Tiffany, girl, go do what you got to do, sis. Kind of sad I'm going to have to sign off early in 15 minutes. Looking forward to some interesting stuff when I review later. Just me, shalom, peace, love, and light, family chilling in the background. One love. Mom, hey, girl, hey. Sayla, what's going on, fam? He said, peace, family. Okay. By making beings believe that they were not naturally immortal, Beelzebub was able to trap souls within his galaxy. But even so, Beelzebub and his minions eventually became so dense as a result of their dark deeds that he could only operate in vibration fields as high as a youthful first heaven, and then only at the border unless given assistance by residents within the buffer. When First Spark had gone looking for Beelzebub's current home planet, the spiritual atmosphere around that planet was so dense that First Spark of a much faster and higher quality vibration frequency than Beelzebub could not be seen or heard by Beelzebub, only vaguely sensed as a powerful presence. Listen, we experience that here. You know, when you feel somebody walk into the room, but you turn around, ain't nobody there. But clearly, those of us that can discern spiritual things, we know somebody has definitely entered the room. It's just y'all vibrating on different levels. You can feel it just a little bit. You sense it just a little bit, like, ooh, you feel that? What? Somebody just, who came down here? You can feel it just a little bit, but because you're out of tune, you can't really see who has really entered your domain. But you can feel it just a little bit, right? Listen, hold on. Let me go back up to 230. By making beings believe that they were not naturally immortal, Beelzebub was able to trap souls within his galaxy. But even so, Beelzebub and his minions eventually became so dense as a result of their dark deeds that he could only operate in vibration fields as high as a youthful first heaven. It sounds like that's that first level that intertwines a lot with us, like what we learned from Owaspy, like that first resurrection level. I didn't even see you have posted that, Jamil. Look, he's in the first resurrection. Yep. My mom said, yep. Okay. Very good, very good. People pay attention. Okay. But even so, Beelzebub and his minions eventually became so dense as a result of their dark deeds that he could only operate in vibration fields as high as a youthful first heaven, and then only at the border unless given assistance by residents within the buffer. When First Spark had gone looking for Beelzebub's current home planet, the spiritual atmosphere around the planet was so dense that First Spark, of a much faster and higher quality vibration frequency than Beelzebub, could not be seen or heard by Beelzebub, only vaguely sensed as a powerful presence. Listen, this whole verse right here, it says so much. I'm gonna keep reading though. Hold on. And the other residents of this planet did not even sense the presence of Beelzebub, for Beelzebub kept their life vibrations beneath his own, that none in his galaxy could successfully challenge him for rulership. Knowing that she would not go along with him, Beelzebub had ages before locked in the dungeon of his dark tower the rightful overseeing Sarah of his galaxy, along with many other luminaries that would not join him in his rebellion. He imprisoned them by bombarding them with energy conjured by dark wizardry, because they had not suspected that such evil would be perpetrated against them. These luminaries were taken by surprise without having created a counter spell. When bombarded with such force of energy as Beelzebub's technology made possible, life forms were so rattled and shaken as to be easily imprisoned. First Spark comprehended the activities taking place on this planet, though the planet did not comprehend First Spark. That is when First Spark had come to report to Jannah about the fallen galaxy of Beelzebub. Now that Jannah had sent First Spark with her message to far-off Jade, she headed to the home world of Beelzebub, for her compassion was so great that she felt called to reach out immediately in love and compassion to the beings of that fallen planet and galaxy of Beelzebub. However, in the many rotations of the cycles and seasons since the visit of First Spark to this far-off galaxy, Beelzebub had taken measures to capture First Spark should he or another great being try and interfere in the politics of this galaxy. But Beelzebub had sensed First Spark's presence and realized his own vulnerability should be an archangel of... Hold on, I read it too fast. Okay. For Beelzebub had sensed First Spark's presence and realized his own vulnerability should an archangel of Medheba or perhaps another great being come to visit his realm. And so he had taken measures to capture any such great being that might come. Beelzebub had placed gatekeepers loyal to him at key doorways into his galaxy, and especially the region of his home planet and its star system and neighboring systems. Therefore, he knew when Jannah had entered the far reaches of his galaxy, and he had time to launch the following plan. Beelzebub knew that no natural force could kill a living being, especially a powerful great being, but he had created technology that enabled him to so strongly bombard the vibration field of a great being as to stun them. If the bombardment is sustained, the great being would remain stunned and disabled, too disoriented to do more than dream strange dreams. Beelzebub knew not that his great being was Jannah, only that some great being of the feminine spin had entered his galaxy. I just like the way that sounds. Let me highlight it. He didn't know, but he detected a feminine spin. Beelzebub knew not that this great being was Jannah, only that some great being of the feminine spin had entered his galaxy, and he named that feminine presence Sophia. Thought about something. Okay. And he named that feminine presence Sophia, for the presence reminded him of the feminine presence of the rightful Sarah that he had imprisoned with the first use of his stun technology long before the coming of Jannah. Beelzebub secretly feared the feminine wisdom. Look here. What was my opening adoration? Kings and Queens Coaching Group, shalom, shalom. Look, Beelzebub secretly feared the feminine wisdom, and he taught his people to fear Sophia even before she came to his home planet. And he put forth a call to the demonic world for evil beings to come serve as overseers of each cell of his personal body. With that act, Beelzebub took on the form of a black dragon, and each of the overseers of the cells of his personal body was a black dragon. And Beelzebub seeded this life form amongst the planets under his influence, and he altered the climate on those worlds to accommodate the monstrous life forms that he seeded. In other worlds, he seeded cyborgism, especially where his poisons had rendered organic life impossible. And in some worlds, including his home planet, he mixed the two, cyborgism and the monstrous life forms. Long before Jannah approached the home planet of Beelzebub, she had begun veiling her glory, taking bodies that would permit her to be seen and heard in the worlds she entered. She knew why first spark had not been seen or heard in these denser realms, and in the worlds where she walked, as she approached the home planet of Beelzebub, she was called Pistis Sophia, and religions were founded on her teachings wherever she passed. That's what made me pause the first time it said Sophia. I started thinking about some of these religions with this name Sophia within their teachings. Hold on. Okay. So I was on point. And in the worlds where she walked, as she approached the home planet of Beelzebub, she was called Pistis Sophia, and religions were founded on her teachings wherever she passed, for she was hailed as the oracle of divine feminine wisdom. But by the time she got to the atmosphere of the home planet of Beelzebub, Jannah had changed her body so many times, each time diminishing her glory even further, that she entered the atmosphere in a weakened condition. And then, as Jannah entered the doorway to take incarnation on Beelzebub's planet, he struck with all his might. He struck Jannah as she entered his world with the full might of his capacity for technological bombardment of a great being. Beelzebub and his multitude of dark wizards stunned and captured Jannah. Now, I'm gonna just make my comment because I was thinking about this. You would think such a great being would be prepared for such a thing, unless it was a part of her plan, right? Okay, I just want to say that. Verse 267, page 622. What is this? Okay, we're going to end at verse 324 at the end of this little story. Exalting that he had captured Pistis Sophia, Beelzebub bombarded her for a great duration, and then, noting her amnesia, he then put her in the body of a harem girl and made her his slave. Dang. This was the depth of amnesia of Jannah, and she did not regain her memory. She did not regain her memory until she was kissed by Jade when he rescued her. And the story of the rescue of Jannah by Jade now follows. Remember that Jannah had sent First Spark with the message to Jade. Eventually, First Spark caught up with Jade and delivered the message. Then Jade and First Spark, both concerned about Jannah, began the long journey to the sector of the mother ovum where resided Beelzebub. Jade had a plan. And here is, let me just say this, sometimes women, our compassion and our motherly nurturing skills sometimes get the best of us, right? Because, oh my gosh, they in trouble, let me help, right? And sometimes we get our own self in trouble by not sometimes using foresight, right? Because a lot of different things could happen when we do that, when we don't, I ain't gonna say temper our compassion, but yes, temper our compassion. Okay, good example. If we have children, let's just use older children. If we have older children who are grown and out the house and should be living their own lives, right? And if they haven't learned how to really life out there in life, once they leave from under our borders, they're going to run into different situations and scenarios where they have to make a decision, right? And if they don't begin making decisions to improve their life or realizing the decisions that they've made previously to put them in the current position that they're in currently in life, if they don't get a hold of that, and if they run from their problems, they'll constantly run back to mom and dad. Most of the time, after dad be like, boy, I ain't with the crap. What are you doing? Get yourself together. They realize dad is a bit too harsh. Let me go to mom, right? Mom with her compassionate, loving heart. That's how she was built, right? That's how she was built. And not that the children are playing on mom's compassion, but some of them absolutely do, right? They go to mom with the sob story, and then mom sometime eventually gives in. Then down the road, mom realizes that what she thought was helping her child is actually enabling them to become worse, right? So this, when I first read this, I'm like, oh, she about to get in trouble. But I'm thinking this story or whatever, okay, you, like the most highest being here, you would have some foresight into this. Apparently not. Apparently not. That's just my thoughts right now. But she had to come get rescued. Listen, let's just read this story. Hold on. Verse 270. Remember that Jannah had I keep messing it up. Remember that Jannah had sent First Spark with the message to Jade. Eventually, First Spark caught up with Jade and delivered the message. Then Jade and First Spark, both concerned about Jannah, began the long journey to the sector of the mother ovum where resided Beelzebub. Jade had a plan. Jade correctly predicted that Jannah would enter the galaxy of Beelzebub in compassion, diminishing her glory to be seen by the eye of low beings in the worlds as she walked as Pistis Sophia. He knew how she would be captured by bombardment in her weakened condition. That, oh my gosh, this just said, let me just keep reading. This just says so much. Even more so because our oldest son, I love him to pieces, and I ain't trying to put his business out here in the streets. But he's lifing out here in life, and he's running into different situations. And I realized that cycle because dad is a whole lot harder, whole lot stricter, right to the point. Because we got a gaggle of men that we're raising up, right? So dad is just like that. He's on them. And so if he don't like what his dad said, he know his dad will be right. I began to notice the pattern. Not that he was playing on me. Not that he was playing on me. Let me give this example. Okay. So no, let me not say that. How can I say this? Okay. I'm trying to keep some of the details because, okay, so if he don't like the answer that his dad, my husband, the love of my life, gives him, which is right. He may not like his dad's delivery to him. He think dad too hard with dad. Why you got to say it like that? And dad to get to him. Because I'm sick of you coming to me with the same problem every month, right? What are you doing out there? Then he'll just tell him right off, you must have sin in your life. And I just bust up and start laughing. I'm like, oh, he done went to church. He done went to church on him. He's, well, clean your life up. It's full of sin. That's why you keep running into these problems and stuff. If you would stop sinning out there. And I'm like, oh, he didn't. Did he really just I mean, but what he was saying though was right. And even if he didn't use the word sin and give people flashbacks of church life, seriously, when you're not, it's still a principle that is true. If you're out there, not saying that he out there doing what's wrong, but there are some better decisions that he could have been making. And because of the decisions that he's been making, his life has began to take on a certain characteristic, right? And so we try and point it out to him. So make a long story short, so when he came to me the other day, I finally got pissed. I realized, I'm like, wait a minute, because I know I heard your father talking to you. What have you done since then, right? And so I found myself talking like Mr. James Murphy, like dated to him. I was like, listen, son, I was like, you're going to have to do something. I said, you in this position because all of these choices you keep making. I said, you don't listen to your daddy. You come to me thinking I'm going to undermine what he has just told you, and I'm not. I'm not giving you any more money. I'm not doing this. I say, you need to make a decision. I say, if you can't pay your bills, then oh well. I was like, we're going to have to just let you fall where you fall and let you really feel what it feels like when you don't handle your responsibilities. We can't keep coming to your rescue because we're making you worse, So he was like, all right, Mom. And so I realized this the other day, right? How our compassion and our good heart, and I have slid him a few dollars without telling his daddy, right? But then I realized the more dollars I slide him without telling his daddy, the worse he gets, right? I'm like, you know what? You need to go talk to your daddy before I slide you anything else. The only person who can get that out of there is me or your daddy. Go talk to him. Look. Hold on. Drayson Righteous, what's going on, fam? Just me says Satan's technology makes me think of 2 Corinthians 2:11. At least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. I agree with that. BC Brandon Carter, what's going on, fam? Not that I want to give Paul any props. I feel you, fam. Not that we want to give him any props because he's full of shenanigans, right? Paul is full of shenanigans. Mom is easier to talk to. And the children realize that. Well, the boys, let me tell you, Bella is a whole different beast. I'm just like, and I find myself talking to her like James be talking to the boys. And you know what she do? She go find daddy. Dad, and get up on his lap. I love you so much. And of course, there he goes, wrapped around his finger. Babe, what you need? I'm about to slide you whatever you want. And I'm like, no, you not. Give me the no. So me and Bella, I'm like, listen here, little light-skinned lady. You better stop the crap. She was the sweet little girl she is. Y'all get what I'm saying. But daughters, they figure this out early, right? The boys can get mom wrapped around their finger. The girls can get dad wrapped around their finger. But this whole compassion story about Janae getting in trap, I'm just like, I feel you, sis. I know how that happens. Look, okay, let me finish this. Hold on. Verse 274. Jade correctly predicted that Jannah would enter the galaxy of Beelzebub in compassion, diminishing her glory to be seen by the eyes of the low beings, and that in the worlds she walked as Pistis Sophia. He knew how she would be captured by bombardment in her weakened condition. He knew that he must avoid the same fate if he was to free his sweetheart. Jade told First Spark, "We will enter this world in a flash of spiritual lightning that comprehends and transcends the thoughts and plots of Beelzebub." You know what? By the time we get finished reading this, we ain't gonna have time to read Owaspy. We'll just pick it back up Monday. But I want to finish this. I'm all into this story now. He knew that he must avoid the same fate if he was to free his sweetheart. Jade told First Spark, "We will enter this world in a flash of spiritual lightning that comprehends and transcends the thoughts and plots of Beelzebub. We will disable Beelzebub by reflecting his portion of light back into his eyes, but magnified 1,000-fold, so that he sees his own evil deeds and repents or flees. We will alter the vibration of this planet by touching it with our higher vibration, thereby causing a multitude of tiny ascending spirals to vibrate forth from the potential into actuality, and also to influence the shifting of many descending spirals of consciousness into ascending vibration patterns." Oh my gosh, that says so much. Hold on. Let me just keep reading. That's so good. Look. Let me just go back. Listen. 276. Listen to this, y'all. He knew that he must avoid the same fate if he was to free his sweetheart. Jade told First Spark, "We will enter this world in a flash of spiritual lightning that comprehends and transcends the thoughts and plots of Beelzebub." There's so many thoughts running through my head. This little bit of wisdom on what they just did. If we understood that we were able to operate with that here on a daily basis while walking through here, do you know how much we could impact the world around us? Listen to this. He knew that he must avoid the same fate if he was to free his sweetheart. Jade told First Spark, "We will enter this world in a flash of spiritual lightning that comprehends and transcends the thoughts and plots of Beelzebub. We will disable Beelzebub strategy. You got to know your enemy, right? We will disable Beelzebub by reflecting his portion of light back into his eyes, but magnified 1,000-fold, so that he sees his own evil deeds and repents or flees. We will alter the vibration of this planet by touching it with our own higher vibration, thereby..." Hold on 1 second, y'all. Hello, this is Pamela. Okay, all right. Did you stay there last night? Okay, very good. Our guys will be there shortly, and they know we're offloading at 8, so just hang tight. When they get there, they'll move our trucks out the dock. Right. Yep, they know you're coming. They'll be there shortly. Okay. All right, thanks. Bye-bye. Sorry. What was I at? What verse was I at? Hold on. Facebook user, good day. Jamila said, "Wrapped around her finger sound like the feminine masculine spin." 100%, Jamil, 100%. It sounds like the Cosmon era. It definitely is. Tick for hey, girl. Hey, you done changed your name to the Creator is Unstoppable. Peace, love, and light, sis. Listen. Okay, hold on. We will alter the vibration of this planet by touching it with our own higher vibration, thereby causing a multitude of tiny ascending spirals to vibrate forth from potential into actuality, and also to influence the shiftings of many descending spirals of consciousness into ascending vibration patterns. The lightning of our comprehension of Beelzebub will disable his technological wizardry like a solar flare from the higher heavens. Listen, the lightning of our comprehension of him. They knew the enemy, right? Like you got to know your enemy in everything, right? Not just because you got enemies, but whether you operate in business, strategy for your marriage. Yo, listen, somebody said something the other day. I'm just like, it impacted me so much that I had a dream about it. Listen, he said, I'm going to save y'all thousands of dollars on marriage counseling. And he's not even a marriage counselor. He's a business, not business. He's like a business trainer, sales trainer, ethics trainer. Like he's one of the number one sales trainers in the world, right? I'm just like, yep, our company is linking with you. We're gonna make some noise in our industry. Don't nobody really know our name yet, but we about to make some noise up in this earth, right? Look. All of the love and light that I'm being full of and sharpening our business principle stuff. This is what he said, right? And him and his wife, they run their business. They gave their stories about their life and their children and how he was constantly working and stuff and what his wife said to him and how he had gotten out of shape and lost his edge and everything. And he was just saying a lot of people think your spouse is your enemy and your spouse is not your enemy. And that's one of the things that caught my attention because that's something an old pastor used to always say to us in a congregation, which was full of young married couples, right? So that first caught my attention while I started listening. I was like, wait a minute, what did he just say? Because I ain't really heard a lot of people say that, but he caught my attention and he's out in Arizona. He said, your spouse is not your enemy. This is your lifelong partner. And they're the only ones really who can say something to you if they catch you slipping. But a lot of times we don't listen to them because we become comfortable with them and we don't take the wisdom that they give to us. No matter how they approach us with it or how they say it, we start taking offense to the things that they say. When in the beginning, it's like, whatever they thought, let me fix this. Let me do this. Remember how the days when you first met, he said, I'm going to save you guys thousands of dollars in marriage counseling. He said, if you would treat your marriage like it was the beginning, there would never be an end. Yo, that impacted me so much that I dreamt about that all night. And I'm like, and I started thinking about the beginning when me and James got together and how it was just, granted, we know it was immature love, but as it matures, as love matures, it should literally really get better, like a fine wine, right? And all of those things that you were doing in the beginning, not the overly zealous stuff, but the attention to detail, the complimenting on how they looked and how they smell, all of these things, you can keep that, the essence of that. And as you grow, and if you continue doing those things you did in the first place, your marriage would get so much better over the years. And I'm just like, yo, he just said something. He said, if you would treat your marriage like it was the beginning, there would never be an end. That hit me. And I wasn't even sitting in church. It hit me deep down in my na. So much that I dreamt about it all night long. And I dreamt about me and my husband and us in the beginning and different stages and phases throughout our life and how I began to lose that beginning adoration that I had for him over the years and how it waned, that I woke up, I'm like, what have I done? Yo, listen, I'm just like, that's really all I need to hear the rest of my life. Now I need to work on bringing the essence of that girl back, that girl that saw something in that young man who lived a couple neighborhoods over. That's just, y'all, when I tell you, listen, hold on. Hold on. Let me finish reading this. Can you? Hey, girl. Hey. It is a mouthful, right? Yo, listen. Like Molly exposing these Flavians. Look, I know I'm jumping back and forth to topics, but y'all are absolutely right. Look. But that was an absolute mouthful and it was amazing. So, but let me go back to this. Let us hurry up and finish. I'm like a couple minutes over. We almost done. We only got a few more verses. Listen, but this is, when I read this is like strategy. Like, look, he is coming to save his beloved, right? Y'all, I could teach a whole marriage seminar with what I just read here and how that reminded me of all of what I've been learning. Oh my God, listen to this, y'all. We absolutely need strategy for our marriage. Look, labor and delivery changes things, but we good. It does. Look, okay, listen. Let me go back. Let me just go back. Verse 246. I know I started back here like 3 times, but listen, let me just keep it all together. Look, he knew that he must avoid the same fate if he was to free his sweetheart. Jade told First Spark, "We will enter this war in a flash of spiritual lightning that comprehends and transcends the thoughts and plots of Beelzebub. We will disable Beelzebub by reflecting his portion of light back into his eyes, but magnified 1,000-fold, so that he sees his own evil deeds and repents or flees. We will alter the vibration of this planet by touching it with our own higher vibration, thereby causing a multitude of tiny ascending spirals to vibrate forth from potential into actuality, and also to influence the shifting of many descending spirals of consciousness into ascending vibration patterns. The lightning of our comprehension of Beelzebub will disable his technological wizardry like a solar flare from the higher heavens." The solar flare of our insight will disrupt Beelzebub's enslaved light and will cast listen to this. Lord, have mercy. This is amazing. And I'm reading it all in the marriage context. Y'all, this just hit me. Boom, 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 boom. The solar flare of our insight will disrupt Beelzebub's enslaved light and will cast open the doors to the prisons and the dungeons beneath his tower. All of his prisoners will be freed, including Jannah. Y'all, this is amazing. I ain't even reading it like what is. I'm literally in the context of marriage and what I saw while reading through this. Verse 283. Then Jade and First Part chanted their enchantment and manifested themselves as the light of comprehension that entered the atmosphere of Beelzebub's home planet as a solar flare and disabled his dark technology. Jade and First Part set the captives free, and Beelzebub fled into darkness of the shadow realms. For Beelzebub had long prepared back doors into many worlds in case of the need to escape the scene of his crimes, and he had literally seated himself in many worlds and in many forms. Jade searched 3 years after the fall of Beelzebub before he found Jannah. When he found her, she was wandering free in the forest, her soul still in the body of the woman who had once been enslaved as a harem girl, but had escaped from Beelzebub when his technology was knocked out by the Lord's solar flare. Since her escape, Jannah, still unaware of her identity as Jannah, led the naturals that resisted the fallen regimen of Beelzebub after the collapse of his technology. Jade came and worked by her side, and she fell in love with him. Then Jade kissed her, and Pistis Sophia knew that she was Jannah. He was probably like, "Well, hello there. You know how long you've been in this situation." Her amnesia was gone once Jade kissed her lips, and from that time on, Jade has been known to kiss Jannah on the lips, even in public, as a token of remembrance that celebrates their joyous reunion. Nazarenes can celebrate this kiss of remembrance of Jade and Jannah as a special theme of celebrating during the month of love. Behold, from the time of the kiss of remembrance, Jade and Jannah began to manifest multiple bodies with which to reach out in mercy to fallen worlds. That way, they could go on missions as a pair. How do I know all of this? Behold, I, Hanukkah, called Sheba, was long ago the Sarah that Beelzebub first imprisoned in preparation for his rebellion, knowing that I would not cooperate with his corrupt plan. Jade rescued me along with Jannah. I am honored to share this ancient lore with this worthy assembly. Miriam was the next speaker. She said, who could top that story? Sheba laughed and said, you could. Miriam said, perhaps, but only perhaps. Everyone laughed. Miriam said, I bring wedding anniversary gifts. I have a gift first for Sheba, then a gift for Green Man. To Sheba, the gift of the Lord and Lady is that she and Green Man will be blessed with a child. When for so many centuries Sheba affirmed herself childless, thereby she became infertile. For such is how even the great ones can get stung by our own previous affirmations. Yo, that is so true. Let me tell y'all something. Let me share this with y'all real quick. Hold on. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 more verses left. But let me just share this. Mahaya, hey girl, hey. Shalom. You on your way out, just me, be safe. This is what we as faithists have to do to save our loved ones, exposing the evil. I agree. Look, listen to this. For such is how even the great ones can get stung by our own previous affirmations. Okay, kind of I ain't gonna say TMI, but a little intimate story of my own, right? Listen. Okay. So everybody know me and my husband got a gaggle of kids, like 6. It would have been 7, but I had a ectopic pregnancy after Jeremiah. So we have 6 living children, right? Okay. Y'all probably heard a few different stories about every time I went to go get my tubes tied. Miss Murphy, we can't tie your tubes. Why you can't tie my tubes? Because you pregnant again. What? How does this keep happening? Sis, you know how this keeps happening. Look, so like seriously, labor and delivery, they know my family. Like me and my husband, Miss Murphy, would you like the same room? Absolutely. You know it. Is Susan on staff tonight? I want Susan in my room. She need to be by my bedside. I love her stories. Look, so okay, we're gonna schedule in. Can you be down here about 6:30? You know what? Can we make it 8? I need to get a couple. Yep, 8. And you know what? Whenever you want to get here, Miss Murphy, we're gonna be waiting on you. Your stuff gonna be ready. Look. So after I had Isaiah, which was our 5th child, I was like, this is it. It's not in the cards for us to have a girl. And so we went to, my husband took me to Jared. He got a Jared. Took me to Jared. And because he loved the Little Mermaid growing up, he said if he ever had a daughter, he was going to name her Ariel, right? So we realized we were not going to have a girl. Went to Jared, got me a Pandora bracelet, and they happened to have all the little accessories for the Little Mermaid in there, right? They had Ariel, they had the shell, they had her tiara, all of those things, right? So he got me a Pandora bracelet with a few different charms, like with a book, an owl, because I love to read all the different things about me, right? And he got like a basketball jersey because he played all the things about our life is on this Pandora bracelet. And then he got all the assessments, the accessories for Ariel. So for about 18 months, I walked around with this Pandora bracelet. Yep, we ain't get a daughter, but this is we represent the daughter for 2 years. I walked around with this. You know what? We got all boys. I'm a boy mom. That's it. This is our life. We're walking around. We ain't have a girl, but walking around with this on I wore that bracelet every day. Not even thinking about it. We ain't gonna get a girl. That's it. The Father wanted us to have a girl. He would have been give us one by now, right? Apparently, we did not understand the strategy of our great Creator. So look, after 18 months, I was like, okay, let's just go ahead, get it tied up for another man coming here. And we done outgrown our little townhouse and everything. We need a house. So went down there. All right, Miss Murphy, this is the day. Of course, the day we show up to do everything. Let us do a pregnancy test just to see. Pregnancy test, Miss Murphy. Come here. Come sit in my office right now. How many times have you been down here? I'm like, what is wrong? We cannot go on with this procedure today. Why not? You've been in here enough. Why you think? I don't know. Me playing on Miss Murphy. We can't tie you tubes because you're pregnant. I'm like, So this is when I got pregnant with Bella. Didn't know. I'm like, I called my husband, babe, I'm pregnant again, can't get my tubes tied. Oh, it's gonna be another boy. He's like, oh my God. And so, but because I was a little bit older, and because when I had Joshua, our third child, remember I went plant-based with my third child, and that's when I found out I had gestational diabetes. But they was like, your sugar was so high, it's not just gestational diabetes, like you have diabetes, So they started giving me the metformin and all that. So y'all remember that story, right? So I stopped taking that, went plant-based, but because of that, every time I got pregnant, they just automatically assessed me as high risk. But every time they would take my blood during the pregnancy, after the pregnancy, my sugar is normal because I stopped the foolery, right? I didn't take the medicine. I just healed myself naturally with herbs and stuff, right? And so even with taking, even get pregnant with Bella, Miss Murphy, because of this, we know there was 14 pregnancies ago, but still we consider you as high risk. Yeah. They said because of that, though, we have some new technology out where we can actually we can test and see what the sex of your child is going to be this early. I don't even think I was 3 months yet, was I, babe? Wasn't even 3 months. Literally just found out I was pregnant. I'm like, oh yeah, really? Yeah, I was like, so I told my husband, he was like, well, it's probably gonna be a boy. Why even get the test? I'm like, just for the heck of it. They said they're gonna give it to me free. Why not? Right? So got the test. Lo and behold, walking around 18 months prophesying with my Pandora bracelet, not even paying attention to it, not even at the forefront of my mind, because a boy mom. This is what we do: bang bang, shoot 'em up, wrestling, WWE in this house, right? They run these tests. It'll be about 2 weeks before we get it back. The doctor's going to go through, assess everything. So at your next appointment, they say 2 weeks because 2 weeks, come back for your next appointment. We'll go over everything. It'll probably come back before then. I said, okay. But the test results came back a few days later, and they called me on the phone, and I thought something was wrong. I was like, why are y'all calling me? I just left y'all off. Well, we just want to let you know we got your test results back. I was like, okay, everything good? Yeah. I got a disease? No, Miss Murphy, you don't have a disease. Everything good with the baby? Yep. As far as we know, it's good. And we know the sex of the child. Really? Listen, just let me tell this story. Because they are, everybody they had, I ain't saying you gave me no disease, but every time they listen. Disease or something. Can I tell the story? Oh, all the pregnant women are on track. When you get pregnant, they test you for everything, right? They test you for diseases, everything. Anything. I'm just saying. Okay, babe. Go ahead. Do you want to? I was not telling that story and saying that part because I wasn't sure if my husband gave me a disease. He did not, right? That wasn't even on my mind. But let me tell my story. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Look. So they said, and we know the sex of the baby. They said, do you want to know? I said, yes. Wait, no. Let me call my husband. Do we want to know? Yeah, we know it's a boy. Tell him just go ahead. We're just going to start shopping for blue. And so I'm like, yeah, we want to know. They said, well, how many children you already have? Wait, we can see from the record. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 boys, right? Yeah. They said, well, are you ready for another boy? I'm like, God darn it, I know it. They said, Miss Murphy, calm down. I'm just asking you, do you want another boy? Are you ready for another boy? Have you prepared your mind to receive another boy? I'm like, you know what? It's just, that's what the creator, well, I didn't want to say creator. I said, that's what God put in the cards for us. So we're fine, right? We ain't gonna say, no, take the baby back. We don't want the baby. Whether the baby is a boy, we're gonna take the baby regardless. What is the sex of the baby? They said, Miss Murphy, congratulations. You finally got your girl. I like to burst out in tears. I called her. I was like, man, we're pregnant with a girl. And he said, wait, are they sure? How can I even tell this? Because my husband is a bit of a skeptic. Well, we won't really know for real until the baby is delivered.
I ain't going to believe it until the baby born. And once she was born, I said, yep, she a girl. Okay, now I believe it.
We was criticizing and critiquing the ultrasounds. I don't know. Where is the split? Can you get the baby to move around? Like, get her to open her legs so we can verify this. Right, we was doing all kind of stupid stuff. It was like, because we weren't sure, so we was walking like, I don't really know. We just can't really tell for real from the ultrasound and all that good stuff. But I am live.
I mean, have live ever turned me off?
Look. Okay, so listen. I said that story just to give you the background on how powerful it is when we speak things. That's one example, right? So not only did we stopped saying we was gonna get a girl, we thought the girl was not in the cards for us. But my husband did something. He represented that girl on my wrist for 18 months, and I wore it out every day. Not even thinking about it. I just loved wearing my Pandora bracelet because this is us. This clearly I don't have it on, but because this is us. I wore it every single day, right? So we got what I ain't even gonna say what we believed. I was just like walking in it, right? So right here where it says, for such is how even the great ones can get stung by our own previous affirmations, because it was saying for so long, but because of her lot in life and what her mission was, she couldn't afford to have children. So just by that affirmation to herself, she became infertile, right? So now I told you that story about that. Now let me tell you one on the flip side after we had Bella. So after we had Bella, we like around the 18-month mark, we need to be careful because this is when I normally get hit up with child again. We ain't trying to have no more. We got our girl. We good. Right? So definitely getting my tubes tied this time. Well, I got one left. Y'all remember that whole story, the surgery I had? My one tube. We're going to do something with the one tube, right? The one tube, I don't know whether you're going to tie it or not because you ain't got nothing to tie it to. You're going to snip burn. How you going to do that, right? Set up. All right, babe. Hold on 1 second. I'm coming. Look, y'all gonna get out of here if y'all gotta go to work. So I didn't think I was gonna tell y'all the story this morning, but listen. Look, it must be a good reason our girl is running late. Look, listen. The power of words and intentions. Listen, let me tell y'all something. So on the flip side of this, I'm like, all right, I'm done. No more children. We're good. We got a gaggle of men and we finally got the girl. And all of what I learned in life, this little lady is going to be a powerhouse. We only need one of her, right? And I got one girl grandbaby. So we're going to shoot this through these generations this way. I don't need to have no more, right? I'll let them do that work, right? And maybe after we refine this a couple generations, then all the girls that come out, they're going to be powerhouses from the womb, hearing from the creator, right? 6th and 7th generation Sue is right out the womb, right? We starting that with us, right? Look, so I told my husband, I said, babe, that's it. Not having more children, right? Because I don't like pain either. And every time I go, I'm like, listen, y'all know I don't like pain. Let's get the epidural going early. I don't want to be caught off guard where I have to go through this pain. So I make sure I get there early. Let's go get the anesthesiologist up in her so we can get this done. So after I had Bella, that's when I became a lot more in tune with my body as looking at the sun, moon, and stars and doing my whole tracking of the seasons and the galaxies and all of these things, reading through the book of Enoch, all of this, and how the cycle lines up with the moon cycle, like all these different things I was testing and bringing myself into alignment, and it was blowing my friggin' mind. It's still like, I don't know how to do it, and it's still happening, right? So, and here's the power of intentional words. Listen. I was not on birth control. I was like, I'm going to put this into practice, right? So not using birth control, I just got to count my days correctly. Make sure we're not intimate within the time frame where I could get pregnant, and we'll be good. And I won't have to get any other foreign substances injected in my body to keep the natural cycle of birth away, right? We're just going to be responsible adults here with bringing life into the world, even though beforehand we just hot and hormones all over the place. Now we're going to do this with wisdom that the Creator has given to us, learn about our bodies, and we're going to do it this way. And we have been doing good up until this point. Nope, not pregnant. Listen, I just want to share something with y'all. But there have been some scares and some near misses because sometimes hormones get the best of you, right? I'm not immune to that. So there were times where I knew I absolutely should have been pregnant again, right? Because my cycle is like clockwork, right? Got it down to a science. I'm just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I was like, I know it, I know it. I missed the mark this time. Now we're gonna have 7 children, you know. So I was like, you know what? No, absolutely not. And I've learned some things about my body, about breathing and breath work and bringing it into alignment and bringing my body to do what I want it to do when I'm focused, right? So let me tell you what I started doing when I absolutely knew. And I told my husband, look, babe, look, this, I know this. And sometimes he will be trying to sabotage my plan. Let's have another child. No, we're not having another child, right? And to help him realize the young children cycles that we will be going through, just bring the grandbabies over. They still like to draw on walls and stuff. Like, Elijah, get your kids out here. What am I thinking? We don't want another baby. That's my husband talking to me, right? I'm crazy. Anytime I say I want another child, bring the grandbabies over. Shock me back into reality on why we don't want to go through these beginning stages again, right? Let's just nurture the ones we have, right? So we can go on and travel the world together, right? Get all these ones out of our house. Look, so a couple times there were some near misses, right? Remember what she said about rendering herself infertile by saying she can't have children because of her lot in life. So what I began to do was, and I kid you not, and I started, and the last 3 times I did it, I actually did it on purpose, right? My body, we down here in the lab, we testing stuff, right? So I'm like, okay, let's think about this. Because if I get pregnant for real, how am I really going to feel? I'm like, well, we're just going to take care of it, but I want to try this. Look, so on purpose, the last few months, and I know this playing with fire, but I'm convinced of it now. I'm convinced I'm going to stop. So on purpose, within the times that I was fertile, we were intimate, right? It's like, I know it. I'm going to pop positive. We're going to have another baby. But after we did it, I had my whole little meditation thing. Body, you will not get pregnant. We're not doing it. We're not having a baby. We're not having any more children. Y'all, when I tell you that anytime my cycle is about to come, like clockwork, I have a dream that it's coming. I know it's coming. And even this time when I was testing this, when it wasn't time for me to come on my cycle, I threw my body. This is crazy how this happened. I'm telling you, if you ever tried, it's amazing how the body works, the mind connected to the body, the spirit. I threw myself out of the normal cycle of my period, and I got my period the next day. I kid you not, it freaks me out. And I told my husband, I was like, listen, we must be gods. I said, because I know of a certain that I should be pregnant. And it wasn't a lot of times, like I'd be halfway through the cycle where I would, because it's only like a couple days within a month where a woman could actually get pregnant anyway, if you understand the reproductive system of a woman, right? So there was at least 4 months where when I did that on purpose, I threw myself out of my normal cycle, and my cycle came either that next day or the day after that, but never more than 2 days later, it would come, right? And I'm just like, who needs Plan B pills if they understand how the body works? And even if they're operating on a higher level of spirituality, bro, do as thou wilt. Listen, so, but the body is amazing, y'all. And I've tested it, but I'm done with those tests because I'm saying it might have been a fluke and I might end up pregnant, 50 years old, pregnant, because I ain't going through menopause and nothing like that yet. So I got to be careful. But it freaked me out. I was like, this could not be happening like 4 months in a row. And now it's back to normal, just testing. But you really got to be in tune with your body. Mind you, for the last few years, I've been studying and this and my mindset, all of these things, so I can believe for some things that other people, they just tried it don't work for them, right? So I understand that when you actually assimilate the information, not that you're just full of data, but you you understand it and you can test it and you can kind of go back and see where you messed up in your test and in your experiment. Once you really understand what you're doing, you learn how to take shortcuts, and you can do it manually or you can take shortcuts. And that's the type of realm we live in here. It is absolutely amazing, y'all. So I just wanted to share that right there. Let me finish these last, 13 verses, and then we're going to be done. Go to work if y'all got to get out of here. So listen. I'm gonna just go. It's 24 verses. I'm gonna just go back to 301. But remember what I said, y'all. This is crazy. Miriam was the next speaker. She said, "Who could top that story?" Sheba laughed and said, "You could." Miriam said, "Perhaps, but only perhaps." Everyone laughed. Miriam said, "I bring wedding anniversary gifts. I have a gift for Sheba, then a gift for Green Man. To Sheba, the gift of the Lord and Lady is that she and Green Man will be blessed with a child. When for so many centuries Sheba affirmed herself childless, she thereby came infertile. For such is how even the great ones can get stung by our own previous affirmations. The Lord and Lady, as wizard and wizardess, conjure healing here and now. You are fertile, Sheba, now, if you believe. Sheba said, I believe, and she was fertile. For she later gave birth to a child. That child became an apprentice to Ganjawaman and serves the Zerua Nistar as a unicorn rider. Of course, because what else would you be when you are the child of a god and goddess? You definitely gonna be riding unicorns. Hold on, this got to go in my title today. And serves the Zerua Nistar as a unicorn rider. Miriam said, my gift to Peter Green Man is my promise that there will arise nature defenders in every land. For I know how Peter's heart yearns for more helpers to defend nature from the spoilers. And in the last days, the naturals will rally to save the last forest. Before the last days, an Appleseed prophet will wander the land of the eagle in amnesia to prepare the way for the naturals. For lo, the Appleseed prophet, son of revolution, was once a great Nazarene, but had forgotten, and yet the sleeper will awaken. Here is my prophecy of one great helper. Here is my prophecy of one great helper of Green Man to come. And that is the end of this chapter. The land of the eagle, if I'm not mistaken, I think we identified that earlier on as the Americas. If I remember correctly, the land of the eagle. Think about the mascot of the United States, right? But yeah, the Cosmon era, the what's the name that they call the Americas? Start with a G. The Guatamas, right? All right, y'all. That's it for today. I know I went way over. Y'all get out of here if y'all had to go to work. But that's it for today. That's it for today. We done. And I won't see y'all back here till Monday anyway. All right, y'all. So it is Friday, December the 8th, 2023, day 127 of year 5 of reading through books, laws, and prophets. And of the 5-year consecutive day count, it is a 1,506. We read a little bit more of chapter 47 in the Holy Megillah. We started at verse 203 and went to verse 324. That's page 619 to 623. And we didn't get to the book of God's word today because we just took so long here and I shared my stories and stuff. But with that being said, somebody give me words of adoration for our Creator before we get out of here today. Love, family, Mahaya said, I'll wait. I read that comment already from Just Me. This is what we as faithists have to do to save our loved ones, exposing the evil. Yes, Jamil. Yes, Sisterman. Thank you, Creator, for feminine wisdom. With that being said, beautiful people, we are out of here, and I will see y'all back here bright and early, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Birds.
But I see through you.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gold, I've been far away. I'm a nobody.
What did you just do to me?
I pushed your astral form out of your physical form.
What's in that tea? Psilocybin? LSD?
It's just tea. With a little honey.
What just happened?
For a moment, you entered the astral dimension.
What?
A place where the soul exists apart from the body.
Why are you doing this to me?
To show you just how much you don't know. Open your eyes.
Been dreaming about dying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a cold sign.
What's happening? This isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real, this is...
Been dreaming about dying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a cold sign.
His heart rate is getting dangerously high.
He looks all right to me. You think that this particular universe is all there is?
I don't need gravity, I need
What mysteries lie beyond the reach of your senses? Existence, mind and matter meet. Thoughts shape reality.
I don't need gravity, I just need hope. Of this illusion, I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Some benevolent and life-giving, filled with malice and hunger. Dark places where powers older than time and waiting.
I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Who are you in this vast multiverse?
I don't need gravity, I just need hope. I don't need gravity, I just need growth.
Have you seen that before in a gift shop?
I don't need gravity, I just need growth.
Teach me.
No.
It's an earthquake rumble. I won't ever ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.